Gunther is getting his SummerSlam opponent, Nick Aldis. And the timing of how this got put together tells you everything about why WWE's doing it. Welcome back to WWE Galaxy, I'm Nova. Let's actually walk through how we got here, because this didn't come out of nowhere. And stay with me until the end of this one, because there's a real business reason WWE wants this match specifically right now. One that's got nothing to do with Gunther or Aldis themselves. I'll get to it, but let's build up to it properly first. Gunther lost the title shot at Night of Champions, and instead of letting it go, he turned his frustration on SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis backstage, accusing him of screwing him over across 2 different countries. Aldis warned him not to put his hands on him. Gunther called him a failed wrestler. Things turned physical from there, and agents had to step in to separate them. WWE sent both men home afterward, with Aldis placed on administrative leave. That should have settled things. It didn't. Gunther showed up again after Aldis got reinstated and choked him out in a rear naked choke, got separated once, then came back and locked it in a second time. Cody Rhodes had to physically pull him off to make the save. Here's what actually makes this interesting instead of just another heel picking a fight. Dave Meltzer addressed this directly on Wrestling Observer Radio, saying WWE is planning a SummerSlam match between the two of them. His exact reasoning is worth sitting with. Aldis is younger than Adam Pearce, and Meltzer pointed out there's never been much real interest in seeing Pearce himself get physical, even though he's a strong character. Aldis is a different case entirely, and that's actually underselling who Aldis is. Before he ever took a general manager job, he held the NWA Worlds Heavyweight Championship for well over 1,000 days. One of the longest reigns with that title in decades. This isn't some office guy putting on a show for one night. This is a legitimate former world champion who spent years standing at ringside instead of in the ring, and Brian Alvarez pointed out the actual mechanical reason why. With Aldis on administrative leave, he's technically not an active authority figure right now, which removes the conflict of interest that's kept him out of competition since taking the SmackDown job in the first place. Think about what this gives him beyond just one match. Aldis has spent years being the guy who talks, who manages, who reacts to what happens to other people, while clearly still carrying that competitive itch underneath the suit. Every physical confrontation with Gunther so far has ended with him on the losing end. Choked out, shoved, overpowered, a SummerSlam match settles more than a grudge. It's the first time in years Aldis gets to answer for himself, in the one environment where the outcome actually depends on him instead of who happens to grab who first backstage. That's a real character arc, not just a novelty match. And it explains why WWE would rather build toward this than toss him back into an authority role and pretend none of it happened. If you're following this one closely, tapping like and subscribing actually helps keep videos like this from getting buried, so it makes a real difference. Let's get into the part I promised you at the start. Here's the business reason. Multiple outlets, including Forbes and the Wrestling Observer, have reported that SummerSlam ticket sales at US Bank Stadium have been genuinely sluggish, described internally as a real concern for weeks now, with Triple H and the rest of the company reportedly running out of time to fill seats before the actual show. A stacked card with Punk versus Cody at the top doesn't automatically fix that kind of problem on its own, because that match was already locked in and already priced into whatever ticket sales existed before it. What moves tickets late in the game is exactly this kind of thing. A grudge with real aired violence behind it. Something that doesn't need weeks of new build because the story already told itself across 2 separate broadcasts. WWE doesn't need to manufacture heat for Gunther versus Aldis. It's already sitting there, ready to be advertised the moment they make it official. That's the timing that matters here. A company looking at a slow-selling show, reaching for the one story that's already generating genuine reaction without costing them a single additional minute of build time. I want to be precise about the current state of things because it matters. WWE hasn't put out an official announcement yet. What's confirmed on screen is that Cody directly challenged Gunther to a one-on-one match after making the save, and Gunther walked away without giving an answer. That's the story dangling right now, unresolved, right at the moment Meltzer's report says a completely different match, Aldis versus Gunther, is what's actually being planned behind the scenes. So you've got 2 threads running at once, a challenge from Cody that Gunther hasn't accepted, and an insider report saying the real target is Aldis all along. There's also a third data point worth factoring in. Gunther's already booked to team with Sami Zayn against Punk and Cody at Saturday night's main event before SummerSlam even happens. However that match goes, win or lose, it's going to shape how much credibility Gunther walks into SummerSlam with, regardless of who he actually ends up facing there. I'll be fair here too, because Meltzer's report is strong, but it isn't a done deal. WWE WWE has changed direction on planned matches before, sometimes because an angle tests better than expected on television, sometimes because a bigger name suddenly becomes available. Cody's unanswered challenge is still sitting right there, and if Gunther eventually says yes to that instead, this entire theory falls apart overnight. Insider reports describe intent, not contracts. Until WWE actually says the words out loud, either direction is still genuinely possible. So do you think this is really where WWE's headed? Aldis finally stepping back into the ring against the man who's put his hands on him twice? Or does Gunther end up facing Cody instead, since that challenge is already sitting out there unanswered? Tell me your take in the comments. Like the video if this cleared up where things actually stand, subscribe if you're new, and I'll confirm it the second WWE makes it official. I'm Nova, WWE Galaxy. See you in the next one.